Hi, I am Subramani Sharma, Core Faculty, Regional Training Institute, Hyderabad. Today we are discussing about data analysis using Excel. I think many of you know Excel as a spreadsheet, but I am saying data analysis using Excel. Is it possible? Right? That question may come into your mind. Uh, Yes, we can analyze the data using Excel. We can derive so many patterns, so many observations by analyzing the voucher data or any data rather. Okay, Excel is a nowadays becoming a powerful tool. It is competing with so many data analysis tools. So don't underestimate the Excel. We can use the Excel and we can analyze and we can do whatever we can do with the other data analysis tools like Tableau, NIME, and all. And so many features are being incorporated in Excel. So Excel is a also be considered as a data analysis tool. This is what our observation. So after knowing the power of Excel, we started preparing this module. We have obtained voucher data and we started we created a model to analyze the voucher data so that we can identify the outliers and also along with the voucher details so that it will be easy for us to check those vouchers and find out whether the vouchers are genuine or there are any issues in that vouchers so that that can be pointed out in our audit. So this is only a model actually, and this model was built upon voucher data, right? So I will demonstrate how to analyze the voucher data and how to identify the outliers and how to identify the voucher numbers of the such transactions and so that further scrutiny can be done. Okay, so for that actually I will share my screen, Excel screen. Just a moment. Yes, so this is the voucher data, right? Uh, Here the columns are treasury, month of account, major head, major head description, sub major. This is the classification actually from major head to uh, subhead and detail head, object head up to object head, along with nomenclature. After the DDO code and DDO designation, uh, then voucher number, voucher date, voucher amount. The last one is, of course, it is an additional field, voucher number and date, where voucher number plus date, these two fields were joined together and this field was created. Okay. How to create this field? Maybe I already explained in a video called table, right? Here the data is converted in a table. That's why I think you are seeing this bar lines and all. So this is a table. Okay, what is a table and how to convert? I already explained in a video called table, right? And from this table we are deriving a pivot. Okay. Uh, right, pivot also how to create a pivot and what are the features of pivot, the advantages of with the pivot and all I have explained in another video that you can refer for pivot tables, right? So straight away we are going for data analysis based on this data we will analyze and will identify the outliers, DDOs. Okay, and let us see how many records are there. So there are almost 6,47,661 records are there. Around 6.5 lakhs records are there approximately, right? This data let us analyze and identify what type of trends we can observe and how we can identify an outlier using those trends. Okay, so this table I have given a name called voucher data and I'm creating a pivot table. So to create a pivot table, we have to go to the insert and there you have to select the pivot table and automatically this table name will be selected and I'm creating this pivot in a new worksheet. Okay, just I'm saying okay. So once I said okay, it will create one more sheet and this is a blank pivot for us, right? And I already explained these are the pivot table fields, nothing but column headings in our original data, right? And two menus will be added. One is pivot table analyze and design. Of course, again the names of these menus will differ from version to version, but however, in any version, it is actually pivot table. And additional menus will be added for pivot table purpose, right? Now, see, okay. Now we are trying to analyze this data. Okay, I'm going back to the original data in this sheet, right? So here, if you see for each voucher, every row is a voucher, right? And here we have the DDO code. See, we all know that the government expenditure will be met. I mean, DDO is the responsible, right, to withdraw the money from the government exchequer and spend. Okay, and again, this DDO will always spend the amount against a um, classification, right? So how we will account for all his expenditures? Definitely a classification will be there, right? Suppose he spent on a telephone bill, there will be a classification. He paid rent, there will be a classification. He hired a vehicle, there will be a classification. He paid salaries, right? So we all know what is a classification, and every rupee spent will be accounted for against a classification. In the classification, if you see the from major head to object head is the lowest level. Suppose if I say telephone bill, right, where our telephone bill be an object head, right? Hiring of a vehicle, it will be an object head, right? Of course, majority is a department. Again, every tier of the classification has its own nomenclature, but ultimately if we look an amount in the voucher, the any amount spent is accounted for against an object head. So that is the lowest level of the classification, and the DDO is the lowest level in the government hierarchy who is authorized to draw money and spend. Okay, so these two fields we are taking for the purpose of analysis. That means we are trying to analyze the data, right, based on DDO, and we are trying to observe the patterns of each on each object head. So this is our criteria for analysis. Okay, I think the existing practice in every AG office is that they will using some sampling methods. They will pick up some vouchers and they will analyze those vouchers. If any issue was noticed in those vouchers, then they will go into other vouchers pertains to the similar expenditure or the DTO and all. In this process, the one small issue is that all the vouchers, that means there is a threshold. Suppose it is a method saying that all the vouchers whose amount is above 5 lakhs should be scrutinized. Suppose that is the rule based, okay, rule was designed. Then what happens? The sampling method will pick up all the vouchers whose value is more than 5 lakhs, right? So and in that again we'll start scrutinizing it, and if we found any issue in that voucher or any discrepancy in that voucher, then of that DD, that classification, then accordingly we will try to identify whether any fraud or deviation to the rule is happened or not, and accordingly we will prepare our audit point or audit observation, right? But here in this process, there is a small lacuna is there. That means suppose a DDO intentionally drawing amounts and the value of that voucher is say 3 lakhs or 4 lakhs. So such vouchers will never come into our radar. So far, there is no practice to analyze the vouchers based on the DDO. Right? So now we are trying to establish a process which will analyze all the vouchers of the DDO, right? And based on the object head, so that what happens, we know that a particular DDO spent this much on salary, this much on hiring of vehicle, this much on telephone bill, or this much on anything based on the object heads available, right? So once we analyze like this, then we know and I mean we can know whether the DDO is properly spending, or is there any government order is there, a threshold is there, so that whether this DDO is exceeding that threshold in that in his annual expenditure and all. So these things we can observe, right? So for this purpose, we are creating a pivot, right, where the DDO code or DDO designation is a row and the voucher amount is columns. Okay, I'm putting this DDO designation in rows. So once I kept it, these are all DDOs. Okay, so these are all DDOs, and once I put this voucher amount in the values field, and it generates the total annual expenditure done by each DDO. Okay, so this I'm formatting this number voucher amount. So it is a number. I'm taking this 1000 separator and decimals. I'm off. Okay. Just I formatted, right? These two. Maybe we can, right? I will increase the font so that we can easily read the figures, right? If you observe this Warden Jogi Pet, he spent 30,000 in a year. Okay, so I will sort this field based on this amount. I can go to the sort and largest to smallest. Sorry, you need not select largest to right. So once we sorted this data based on the voucher amount, now you see the top spender is the Commissioner of Agriculture. He spent around 4,408 crores, 31 lakh 78,000. Similarly, DTO Warangal is 702 crores is annual expenditure. That means a DDO, that is DTO Warangal Urban, in a year in 1819, he spent his total expenditure. Okay, is 702 crores. Similarly, Commissioner of Agriculture, his total expenditure in a year is 4,408 crores. Okay, right. So this is again it is not giving any information, but it is just a total, right? How much spent by each DDO, right? Right. Okay, so that highest is 4,408 crores. Similarly, maybe we can see who is the lowest, right? Who is the lowest? Maybe we can go down to the last record. See here, a DDO spent 583 rupees. That is the chairman, MLSC Atmakor. Similarly, HMZPHS CC Kunta, he spent 599 rupees, right? Let us observe here. A DDO is spent only 599 rupees in a year, right? Is it practically possible or feasible to restrict or a DDO? His total expenditure in a year is 599 rupees. So by seeing that figure, we will get a lot of doubts now, right? See, when we are saying it is an annual expenditure, that should be included his salaries, right? Any other expenditure, whatever the expenditure he spent in a year, right? So when 599 rupees he is spending in a year, that means uh, it gives a lead that there is a salaries all are not included. Maybe it is a miscellaneous voucher, right? So he spent only 599 rupees means he is first of all another question comes whether he is a regular DDO or not, or when he is supposed to draw salaries and there is no such expenditure, because on an average the minimum salary is 50,000 in a government employee draws, right? Even if you take for 12 months, it is a 6 lakhs rupees the minimum expenditure. Suppose there is only one employee there and is just drawing salary, nothing else. Even then, it is a he is supposed to spend 6 lakh rupees in a year. But here there are so many DDOs who are spending 500 to some 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 like that. So all these DDOs now we can assume that these are not genuine DDOs, right? Maybe the same DDO has multiple codes. the system is allowing duplicate codes also, right? So because his salaries are being booked using another DDO code, and this expenditure is booked using another DDO code, maybe duplicate DDOs possibility is there. So these things we can analyze, right? This is possible when we compute the DDO wise totals, right? So otherwise it's practically not possible, because we will get every year more than 10 lakh vouchers. In that, whether how much is being spent by a DDO is practically not possible to identify or to know. So what I'm saying is that once we have a voucher data, and if we use the pivot table and compute the amounts, for the first thing we can notice is how many DDOs are spending less than the threshold value. Say that is, let us say for example here, if I say 6 lakhs is the threshold value, right? Because one employee 50,000 salary, so that at least minimum 6 lakhs he has to supposed to spend, right? So what I'm saying is, if any DDO whose expenditure, annual expenditure is less than 6 lakhs, then maybe we have to identify, or we have to find out why this DDO is spending less than that, and whether the same DDO has any other code or not, right? So these things we can analyze. So just by computing the total and sorting the totals based on the voucher amount, it gives some lead how many dummy DDOs or unauthorized DDOs are there in the data. Okay, so similarly, if we see the top spender is Commissioner of Agriculture, he spent 408. Second one is 702 crores. So there is a huge gap, right? Around 3,000 crores difference is there. Why that difference? It may be a genuine. I'm not saying that. Commissioner of Agriculture, maybe the government might have announced some scheme to the farmers, and compensations were paid to the government. That's why to the farmers. So that's why this year expenditure is more. Maybe if in such case, maybe we can compare this data with see previous year's data or last 3 years data, like that. Then immediately we can draw some conclusions. Suppose only 500 crores again, suddenly 4,408 crores. So suppose that is the pattern, then there is some government decision might be there, or some other issues are there, so that we can identify afterwards. Okay, but initially what our observation is, there is a huge difference between the first and second. Forget about the second and third. If you observe, the second one is the D2O Varangal, that is the treasury officer, and third one is also a treasury officer, Karimnagar. But still, being the two major districts, right? The difference is again almost 250 crores. One is 702 crores, and the third one is spent 477 crores in a year, like that. So what could be the reason? Maybe that way we can start our analysis. Of course, the treasury officers, they will book the pensions. So if the number of pensioners are more in the DTO Varangal, then obviously the expenditure also will be more. So the person who is auditing or inspecting the treasuries, they know the number of pensioners, right, and the total expenditure. Based on that, just we can do some analysis on that. Okay, this is only a basic part, right? Now let us split this expenditure. Let us analyze these DDOs, right, based on our object head. That is our goal, right? So that gives a lot of insights. Okay, let us see with some examples. So here I want to filter this data based on object heads. So for that purpose, I am inserting a data slicer. Okay, I'm using a slicer. What is the slicer? I already explained in a another video. Okay, once you select the slicer, all the column headings or all the pivot fields will appear there. There you can select the object head description. So I'm selecting CLS object head description. Okay, right. So these are the object heads, right? Okay, so these are the object heads, unique object heads available in the data. Okay, there is 64760. That means there is some error in the data. Is the object description, some number was entered. That also can be rectified. No issues. Okay, now from this, these are all object heads: allowances, bus warrants, compensation, conveyance allowance, right? Hiring of vehicles, honorarium, lands, LTC, maintenance, right? So these are all object heads, unique object heads, right? So from here, I'm just say let us I'm clicking on the bus warrants. So once I clicked in the slicer, we know slicer is a filter again. If you select any value in the slicer, the data will be filtered based on that value. Okay, so that means whatever the data is appearing here is the total expenditure spent by the DDOs on bus warrants. Okay, so let us see what are these bus warrants, right? So AO District Police, he spent 2 crore 26 lakhs 76,000. Okay, now similarly, Warangal, Commissioner of Police, Warangal, he spent 2 crores. Right. Similarly, Mehboob Nagar 1 crore and all. So Adilabad district DDO, the district police office Adilabad, they spent 2.26 crores on bus warrants. Okay, who is the least spender? Is say Deputy Commissioner and Provision Excise Adilabad 264. I think the top spender and the least spender both from Adilabad district. Okay, AO, Assistant Commissioner of Excise Warangal, he spent only 1134. Okay, so our observation could be here. Suppose the total expenditure again, sorry, the total expenditure on bus warrants by all the DDOs in the year is 12 crore 45 lakhs 13,342. So this is the total amount. So whether this expenditure genuinely spent or not, right? Whether this expenditure is genuine or not, in the sense. How to know that this entire amount is spent for the purpose for which it was intended? So that is the question. Suppose it is bus warrants. What is bus warrant here? Bus warrant is an agreement between the Road Transport Corporation and the government, right? Where some department personnel, not all, say like police, provision, and excise, right? These people can travel by bus without buying a ticket before travel, because the tour program will be approved by the DDO, and he will issue a paper called a warrant. If that warrant was shown to the conductor, that official will be permitted to travel from the source to destination, which was mentioned in the warrant. That warrant will be by the conductor, and it will be given to his in his office, and all these warrants will be summed up, and later the DDO will draw the amount from the government, and he will remit to the Road Transport Corporation, right? So if we obtain the receipts from these DDOs from the Road Transport Corporation, then both should tally. That means Road Transport Corporation should receive 2 crore 26 lakhs 76,345 from District Police Office Adilabad. Similarly, from Warangal, it should receive 2 crore 11 lakhs. Suppose if there is any discrepancy between those two, it will be an audit objection naturally, right? So whether suppose the drawing officer withdraw the money for any reason, he couldn't remit to the Road Transport Corporation, it is lying with the DDO, right? Whether actually it should not, right? The entire amount should be remitted to the Transport Corporation. So we can obtain the figures from the Road Transport Corporation, because I think they also will receive from each DDO. So what are the receipts received for this period, and if we can compare, then immediately we can identify, right, whether the amount drawn by the DDOs are really actually remitted or not. If they have not remitted, definitely we can raise a red flag, and we can insist, or we can ask the DDO to remit the balance, right? This observation now we could able to do without checking any voucher. So here I think this is very important point which we have to keep it in our mind. So far we have not checked any voucher, right? So far we have not had any paper or physical vouchers, right? Anything. But just by analyzing it, now we came to a conclusion, or we made an observation that whether the Transport Corporation received this 12 crores amount for this period or not, right? Getting additional information is required is the receipts by the Road Transport Corporation. If we obtain that information, then we can immediately cross check whether these amounts were really remitted to the transport corporation or not. Okay, now so one more thing is okay, 2 crore 26 lakhs. Suppose there is a discrepancy. How much discrepancy is there? Maybe say 5 lakh discrepancy is there. Which voucher was missed out? So here if we have the voucher numbers also, then that will be easy for us whether whenever they have withdrawn from the government, whether it was remitted in the same month or subsequent month, like that. Suppose it was withdrawn in August 2018 and it was remitted in March 2019. Then again, it will be an audit objection. Why they kept the amount with them? Why they have not immediately remitted to the Road Transport Corporation? That point also we can you can observe and we can issue an audit objection to the DDO, right? So to know that we need the voucher details. For that purpose, actually we have created a field, additional field, voucher number and date. If we keep this in the rows below the DDO code, then actually the DDO code, sorry, voucher number and voucher data also will be displayed on the screen, right? Now you see all the voucher numbers and dates, because if you give the only voucher number, maybe we need the data also to pick up that voucher. Okay, so to avoid that, what we did is we have joined the voucher number and date, and we are using that field. So this Adilabad police, district police Adilabad, they draw this 2 crore 26 lakhs in how many vouchers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 vouchers, right? So the first voucher they draw is in June 2018, that is 30 lakhs, in July 42 lakhs, and October 99 lakh. See, this is a very good figure, 19 lakh 99,995. That means they want to keep the bill below 1 crore. It appears to be. So might be. If it is a genuine, no problem, because it pertains to, I think, from August to October, August, September, October, 3 months. So approximately 30 lakhs. So on an average, they spent up to February 30 lakhs. So whether these amounts were remitted immediately or not. Suppose when it was drawn in June, on 19th June, definitely in the same month it is supposed to be remitted to the Road Transport Corporation, right? So that way we can cross check whether the entire amounts are being remitted to the Road Transport Corporation or not. So here we know the DDO code and we know the voucher details and voucher amount also, right? Suppose even like a state like Andhra Pradesh, now IFMS is fully implemented where e-voucher facility is available. So you need not search for physical vouchers also, and just we can give this DDO code, voucher number and voucher data, and from the net we can obtain the details. And of course remittance part again we have to obtain from Transport Corporation, but we can know, we can see the voucher details, right? How many people traveled, their supporting documents and all. Okay, so now after this having this data in electronic format, our audit analysis part is becoming easier with this, right? So this using this method, it will be very easy for us to analyze each DDO and their expenditure patterns, right? So here we can easily identify why these people, some people are spending only hundreds and some people are spending in crores, right? Similarly, one more thing is we can just go through the DDO names. Sometimes suppose if you find one headmaster, the DDO code appears, DDO name appears there. So why headmaster is drawing bus warrants is not supposed to spend, isn't it? Okay, maybe it is a misclassification or anything, but system should not allow without that means there some validations are missing in the system or anything is there. So we can just once we identified that a particular DDO who is not supposed to spend and his name is appearing here, then that is also one of the audit objection where we can notice it, and we can the reasons we can identify by issuing audit objections. Okay, so this way I'm saying that if we start analyzing the vouchers based on the DDO and based on the object head. It gives a lot of insight for us to understand how the DDOs are spending and the patterns, and then we can identify the outliers also. Suppose spending 2 crores on a bus warrants, that means let us see how many staff are there, right, in that district, right, whether all are going, how many people are going, how far they are traveling, whether they are traveling in the same city, or sorry, in the same district, or I think after the Telangana they need not go to Srikakulam and all. Adilabad district, maybe they will come to up to Hyderabad, right? Or anything, right? So there are so many issues. Those who are auditing the police department specifically know what are the objections we can write on bus warrants. But in this absence of data, maybe they are not able to identify all the issues pertains to all the DDOs of police department against this object head. Now it is a clear picture is emerged before us that these are the DDOs and these are the amount they spent, and this is the what the process should go. That means this amount has to go to the road transport corporation, whether it is gone or not, like that. Okay. Another example we'll see. One is hiring of private vehicles. Suppose, see, when I said hiring of private vehicles, again these are the DDOs who hired vehicles, and this is the expenditure, annual expenditure. So Commissioner of Cyberabad, he spent 4 crore 57 lakhs 38,903 rupees, and Commissioner of Police Rachakonda, he spent 4.49 crores towards hiring of private vehicles. Okay, there is a government order issued by the Telangana government that because the government is unable to provide vehicles to the all the eligible officers, so government is permitted them to hire a vehicle, and there is a cap on the expenditure. Say 33,000 rupees per month they can spend towards hiring of vehicle. Okay, so by seeing this, we may not found anything, but we know that the top spender is 4.57 crores he spent, and similarly the least spender is say 3,000 rupees, and the total expenditure towards hiring of vehicles is say 110 crores, 90 lakhs 90,694 rupees. So 110 crores are being spent towards hiring of vehicles, right? Okay, but whether any to know whether any outlier is there or not. So simply what we can do is we can divide. Suppose if this expenditure is divided, suppose for example for in a month the cap is say 33,000, right? For one vehicle 33,000 rupees they can pay, right? So see if one vehicle was hired, right, for a year, because this is an annual expenditure. So 33 into 12, isn't it? So 33 lakh 96,000 they can pay for one vehicle. Suppose if I divide this expenditure with say 33,000 into 12, because 33,000 is a 1 month expenditure, and into 12 that comes to annual expenditure, right? If I select this, so in a year they have hired 115 vehicles. Okay, so again, of course, this we can format the numbers. I'm formatting because the decimals are not required. So I kept this as a number, use and remove these decimals. Okay, so approximately 116 vehicles, right? They have hired. Okay, so that means 116 vehicles on an average in a month they hired, isn't it? So whether 116 vehicles when they hired, maybe we can pick up those vouchers. Now again, if you click here, we will get the voucher numbers. These are all voucher numbers, right? And maybe we can check whether, sorry. So and again, see on the same day, they draw this expenditure on two vouchers, 9,78,000, 9,26,000, right? See, again on 9th July, they draw this on in two vouchers, right? When they are drawing on the one day, maybe they can use a single voucher. Maybe there are maybe two agencies who are supplying the vehicles, whatever it may be. So by seeing this, we can't say that the transaction is a genuine or a fraudulent transaction, but it gives us an understanding what points we can observe on these transactions, right? So if the agency is same, only one agency is supplying, then why they are paying in two bills? So is it intention to split the expenditure so that you know it won't come in the audit radar, including internal audit? Maybe they may have some internal audit also, and let us assume that they have 1 lakh or 2 lakhs or whatever it may be, right? I'm not coming to a conclusion, but I'm trying to give some hints so that the person who are in the actually audit field, they can think and move forward with this information. Okay, so once we know that that this DDO, right, he's spending his pattern is like this. So on the same day he's drawing two bills or three bills, right? Like that, then we can identify why he's doing like that, and maybe multiple agencies, then it may be a genuine thing. Similarly, 116 vehicles. So once a vehicle is hired, right, definitely as an auditor we will check whether it is a the number is a cab, and it is booked as a commercial vehicle, not a personal vehicle. All these things will come into I mean, these are the routine checks where which we can impose on these transactions. Maybe if we have this e-vouchers facility, we can immediately check where vehicle numbers also might be available in the net along with the voucher details, so that immediately we can cross check and we can identify if any amounts which were drawn with some wrong intention. Okay, so those things are any errors we can notice in the vouchers. So that way we can observe our audit points just by seeing the data and by a small calculation. Just I did it. What we did is 33,000 rupees when it is a cap into 12. So that is an annual expenditure. And if we divide that amount, and it is giving us that how many vehicles he hired, right? So this is the power which gives this data analysis will give to an auditor, right? Okay, and one more interesting fact I will demonstrate you. Another thing is the maintenance of office vehicles, right? So this is another concept, maintenance of office vehicles. Again, Commissioner of Cyberabad is spent say 91 lakhs. So here maybe we can keep both these hiring of vehicles and maintenance of vehicles. Right, so I have selected two fields. Actually what I will do is this object header I will put it in the columns. Yeah, so I think 134 is hiring of vehicles and 511 is the maintenance of vehicles. When a same DDO is drawing on both heads, right? He's spending on maintenance as well as he's hiring. He's also hiring. So what are the possibilities? That means when he's spending on maintenance, that means he owns some vehicles, right? He's also hiring. That means the number of vehicles he owns are not sufficient, right, to to perform his duties rather. Okay, so that way what we can do is maybe we can identify these type of DDOs who are spending on both heads, right? Both maintenance of vehicles and hiring of vehicles. Then we can now maybe suppose Evo collector Khammam, right? He is spending 49,000 on maintenance. Maybe when we go to the field visit, we can identify what are the vehicles owned by collector Khammam, and we can pick up the vehicle number, and whether the same is being used in the bill or not. So that is one issue. Or suppose if really it is in working condition or in a damaged condition or a condemned vehicle. There is so, sorry, so many issues will be there. So that we can cross check. Right, when he's spending for on against maintenance, that means he owns the vehicles and there is a maintenance. After maintenance, actually the vehicle is running. So these things can be again observed by the audit teams. Similarly, hiring of vehicles. So what is the necessity for this DDO to hire more number of vehicles despite he having some vehicles? So that way, that also maybe we can observe, right? Okay, so these are the methods. Maybe that is what I'm saying. If we start analyzing these DDOs based on the object head, it gives a lot of insights. So this I want to present to you all in this video, through this video. Okay, similarly honorarium VRAs, right? Village assistants, I think. So once village assistants are there, honorarium is being paid. Okay, so this Deputy Tahsildar Bodhan is spending 1 crore 81 lakh 40,000. Again, honorarium, say as per government of Telangana, it is 5,000 rupees per month. Then again, if you divide this, maybe it might have been answered. Let us say if it is a 5,000 rupees, and if you divide this amount with say 5,000 into 12, 60,000. So this is the annual expenditure. So we can know how many VRS are there in his under his control. Okay, so if it is a 5,000, there are 302 VRS are there. So again, it is a matter of observation where really in a district 300 VRS will be there or not. Why I'm saying 3 to 5 or 5,000? Maybe if we go to the bottom, it is a 25,000 rupees. That is annual expenditure again, right? So if it is, that means yes, 5 VRS are there, might be, right? Of course, or 5,000 means 5 VRs in a month, or for 1 VRA they have paid 5 months, whatever it may be. But if you see the topper, he's a 302 VRAs are there, right? Let us see whether this Navipet has 223 VRS or not. Let us say maybe our this thing is maybe rank not 5,000. He's paying as per government order is 10,000 rupees. Even then, 1,20,000 if you put it. Right, still 151 VRS in a district like Bodhan, whether the number is correct or not, maybe we have to think and cross check. Okay, that is possible with the attendance roll or muster, whatever records are available with the Tahsildar. Even if you have a voucher, maybe you can see the names, right? So every month he has to draw for 151. And we can cross check the names. If any discrepancy is found, maybe we can write an objection like that. So there are numerous possibilities if we start analyzing the data in this using this model. So in our model, we are trying to analyze. First of all, we are trying to compute the annual expenditure for each DDO. Then using a slicer of based on object head. So for each object head, how they are, what are the patterns among the DDOs against that object head. Once we start analyzing this like this, I think we can identify so many objections or observations, right? And we can analyze the patterns and we can cross check with the vouchers, and we can establish that whether the expenditure is being met or by the DDO is genuine or not, whether is exceeding any thresholds or not. Okay, so this is how we can analyze. Similarly, we all know leave encashment. That also I will give one example. That is the last example. Maybe with that I will conclude this demonstration. So we all know that encashment of earned leave. That means a government employee can encash 15 days of earned leave in a year. Of course, police department, they can encash 30 days. Okay, so whether this encashment of leave, when we selected this object head, Commissioner of Cyberabad, he spent 23 crores 71 lakh 32,000. For other object heads, they are maybe budget heads actually. Of course, honorarium to VRA maybe may not be budget because it has to be paid, or budget may be there, but encashment of hand leave is part of salary, so it is not a budget controlled head. So in this case, how to establish that the amount is drawn properly or not without checking any records or vouchers. Here we don't have any employees working in each DDO, under each DDO, and their salaries and all. But we know that pay plus DA is the criteria to compute the encashment of earned leave, right? So pay is there, DA is there, and encashment of earned leave is there. Of course, by seeing by taking these three, just we are taking DA. I'm taking, right. Sim and pay also will take. Right. So this is the total for pay plus DA plus HRA. If you want to split this for each object head, you draw this object head into columns. Right. So 011 is pay, 013 is DA, and 018 is our encashment of earned leave. Suppose actually this pay plus DA, if you compute, that is the total salary annual expenditure on annual salary expenditure, right? If we I mean, it is a model actually. If we compute the average pay for 1 month, right, then the annual expenditure against leave encashment should not exceed that, right? Suppose for this, the total expenditure is 143 crores and 34 crores together. So somewhere in 177 crores, right? So that is the annual expenditure on pay plus DA. If we divide it by 12, that is an average monthly average expenditure we'll get, right? So this monthly average expenditure is maybe we can take it as a cap. That means the leave encashment should not exceed this monthly average, isn't it? Why? Because suppose the employee has to take only 15 days earned leave, he can encash. Let us assume that all the employees encashed in a year. Even then, suppose one headmaster is there and his annual pay plus DI is a 1 crore, right? Or 1 crore 20 lakhs. So his annual expenditure on pay plus DI is 10 lakhs, right? So when a teacher, that is a headmaster, the teachers who are working under the DDO, if all they applied for leave encashment and they get it, so how much they will get it? It is only for 15 days. That means they should never exceed the annual monthly pay, isn't it? So if we compute that average pay for each DDO, right? This is the pay plus DA, right? So this I'm dividing it by 12. Right. So this is the average pay. How much? 14 crores, right? Maybe I will format this for easy readability. In the formatting, just I'm putting the commas, 1000 separators, and removing the decimals. Okay. Yeah. So his average annual, sorry, monthly expenditure is 14 crore 85 lakh 59,000, right? So even if the police department personnel are permitted to draw 30 days salary, right? It should be in and around 14 to 15 crores, but the amount spent or drawn under leave encashment is say 23 crores. So there is a gap of 7 to 8 crores gap is there. So definitely maybe we have to look into the vouchers, and so these are the vouchers maybe, right? So these are all vouchers and the amounts drawn. of course, this actually we have to see the voucher wherever there is amount under 018, isn't it? So these are the vouchers of leave encashment. In April, these are the 4 vouchers, right? Of course, again in 18.4. So there are so many vouchers are there. These vouchers we can just pick it up. These are all again April vouchers, right? How many vouchers he spent, and names maybe we can just compare and see whether properly bills were prepared properly or not. But by and large, their annual leave encashment expenditure should not exceed the monthly average monthly pay. So that maybe it is only a thumb rule. It is not a thumb rule actually. It is an approximate figure, right? Maybe we can compare those who are exceeding at least those DDOs or bills. Maybe we can examine and identify whether, because the possibility for frauds are more in non-budget controlled heads, isn't it? Like pay bills, pensions, and all. So if we do this type of analysis, it will give us some leads, and if we scrutinize the vouchers of these DDOs in a detailed manner, I think maybe we can identify any errors, omissions, commissions, or intentions of the DDO. Those things will come out, and that we can put it in our audit observation or audit report. Okay, this how we can analyze each DDO's expenditure patterns against each object head, and that way, after doing this, I'm pretty sure these type of analysis will help us to draw various conclusions against that DDOs. And of course, this also giving us the voucher details. If we have the physical vouchers, maybe we can take the list and we can obtain those vouchers, and we can, scrutinize those vouchers. Otherwise, if the e-vouchers are available in the net, then the job will be much more easier. Otherwise, we need time, to obtain the physical vouchers and all. So this is the model, data analysis model using Excel, right? So Excel has so many powerful features like pivot, data slicer, and all. I think these two, using these two features, we can do a very good analysis of the data. Okay, so this is the demo. I'm concluding this. Just stopping this, sharing this screen. Okay, so start analyzing the data. Of course, there is a limitation with Excel. It can't handle more than 10 lakh records, but I'm pretty sure if you take one major head data, right, it will won't cross 10 lakh records, 10 lakh vouchers for one major head. But we should not do this analysis for district wise, but better do this analysis department wise, right? So at least, because see, rules will vary from one department to another department. The way which we have discussed, that leave encashment, it is for police personnel it is 30 days, but other department person it is only 15 days, like that. Okay, so if we analyze these data based on department, then we can draw patterns that all the DDOs should follow the same role because the department is same. So immediately we can identify the outliers and the vouchers along with the voucher details. That way we can do that. Okay, hope you understood the concept and start analyzing the data using pivots and data slicers. Okay, thank you.